Let's open the book on this. Today in Irvine, the trial begins for 3 men involved in a controversial protest at UC Irvine. I'm Leah.
And I'm Garrett.
Welcome to Laid Back Local, the news of the day with Leah and Garrett, reporting from Irvine, California. First up, trial begins for 3 men accused in UCI pro-Palestinian protest. Here's the core of it. 3 defendants, Adel Shakir Hijazi, Malik Al-Rafai, and Jacob Andrew Hernandez, are facing misdemeanor charges after a pro-Palestinian protest at UC Irvine in May 2024. Prosecutors say they refused to disperse when officers declared an unlawful assembly, which is when police decide a crowd must break up because they believe there's a real risk to safety or property. 49 people were arrested that day. Defense attorneys push back hard, arguing the protest was peaceful and that law enforcement escalated the situation. One defendant, Jacob Andrew Hernandez, says he was there as a freelance journalist, meaning he works independently, not for a single outlet covering the event. He argues his arrest violated press rights, which fall under the First Amendment. Quick refresher there. The First Amendment protects freedom of speech, assembly, and the press. Hernandez also says he was beaten during the arrest. That claim is part of why this case is drawing attention. There's some timeline to keep in mind. The protest encampment at UCI began in April 2024, and it ebbed and flowed for weeks, with anywhere from about 20 to 200 people present at different times. The arrests happened in May 2024, when law enforcement called it an unlawful assembly and moved in. Now, as the trial opens, reported March 2026, the court will sort through 2 big questions. Were police justified in ordering the dispersal, and were people, including a journalist, wrongfully arrested while exercising protected rights? A couple of things are disputed. Whether the crowd was actually an unlawful assembly is contested, and there's disagreement over whether law enforcement managed the scene or escalated it. Those are legal and factual questions for the court. What's not in dispute? 49 arrests happened. Hernandez says he was working as press, and the case squarely raises First Amendment issues alongside public safety concerns. For local context, this all unfolded right here at UC Irvine, and it's being watched as a test of how protest, policing, and press rights intersect on campus.
All right, let's roll on. I'm laser focused on the journalist angle. If Jacob Andrew Hernandez was there working as a freelance journalist, protecting his ability to document events is huge. Press rights are there, so the rest of us can know what's happening on the ground. And yeah, whether the assembly was unlawful, that's the core dispute. But even when an unlawful assembly is declared, it's, really important that the press can observe without getting swept up unless they're actively violating a lawful order. That balance is tricky in fast-moving situations. Leah, why do you think the stakes feel especially high here? Is it because it's on a university campus or because of the number of arrests?
Both. Campus spaces are, in theory, hubs for speech and debate, so when police step in, it raises sharper questions. And with 49 arrests, it's not just a footnote, it's a major enforcement action. Real talk, the court's findings could influence how future campus protests are handled, who gets to stay, who must leave, and how journalists are treated in that mix.
Let's keep it moving. Next up, Orange Lutheran clinches 4th NHSI baseball title in North Carolina. Orange Lutheran High School, our local private school in the city of Orange, just won the National High School Invitational, or NHSI, which is like a top-tier national tournament. They edged Venice High of Florida 7-6 in the championship. That's their 4th NHSI crown. They also three-peated from 2017 through 2019. That's pretty cool, right? Senior Eric Zdunek, he's a transfer from Maranatha in Pasadena, was named MVP of the title game. And senior right-handed pitcher Gary Morse tied his career high with 16 strikeouts in their tournament opener. 16. That's dominance. Worth noting, Venice came into the final at 19 and so Orange Lutheran beat an undefeated team on a big stage. Winning a national invitational like this can boost a school's profile, attract talent, and, build a culture that keeps winning. Scheduling note, they've got a series with St. John Bosco next, and Bosco's ranked #1 in the nation. That's a serious follow-up test. But for now, Orange Lutheran just showed, again, they can handle pressure games and deliver late. Team chemistry, coaching, and reps against top competition, all of that adds up when you're chasing trophies.
Totally. Beating a team that was 19-0 says a lot about resilience, and I love that this wasn't just one star, it's a full team story. A pitcher like Gary Morse racking up strikeouts sets a tone, but someone still has to make plays behind him, put up runs, and stay composed in a one-run final. That's where, the glue shows. Communication, trust, and the quiet stuff you practice 1,000 times. Okay, let's move on. Corona Del Mar boys volleyball aims for top spot in Sunset League. Corona Del Mar High, right up the coast, hit a couple bumps with recent losses to Edison and Huntington Beach, but this is a veteran group. Senior setter Drake Foley is the on-court quarterback, setting the ball and directing the offense. The Sea Kings already beat Huntington Beach once this season, and they've got Newport Harbor on deck. Their eye is on the CIF Southern Section Division I playoffs starting April 29th. Quick explainer, CF stands for California Interscholastic Federation. It runs high school sports championships, and Division I may use a pool play format this year, which means teams are grouped and play multiple matches to advance, rather than a single elimination bracket where one loss knocks you out. That can reward depth and consistency, not just one great night. What I'm hearing from the program is confidence grounded in experience, a strong senior core, a setter who keeps everyone synced, and a history of making CIF and state runs. Team chemistry, how well players connect, communicate, and trust split-second reads, matters a ton in volleyball. If they clean up the small errors in serve-receive, those recent losses can be fuel, not fate.
I'm down for that. The pool play twist, if it lands, kind of rewards teams that can game plan across a weekend instead of just spiking one big upset. Strategy and stamina both get tested, and with a setter like Drake Foley steering the ship, I wouldn't count them out at all. That's a solid point about turning losses into lessons. Peaking at the right time is the whole game. Let's switch it up. Hoag to launch first liver transplant program in Orange County in 20 years. Hoag, short for Hoag Memorial Hospital Presbyterian, the major nonprofit hospital based in Newport Beach, announced a new organ transplant center, pending regulatory approval, aiming to begin in 2027. It will offer liver transplants and kidney transplants. The program will be led by Dr. Aaron Ahern, a transplant surgeon recruited from USC's Keck School of Medicine. Local context. Orange County hasn't had a liver transplant program since UCI Medical Center closed theirs in 2005. That's 2 decades of patients traveling to Los Angeles, San Diego, or out of state, which can be brutally hard on families and support systems. Hoag says they've built up strong pre- and post-transplant care over the past 5 years. That matters because transplant isn't just the surgery, it's the careful work before and after to keep patients stable and recovering. Why now? Demand is rising. Alcohol-related liver disease has more than doubled in the last 20 years, and liver cancer could double by 2040, which would push transplant need even higher. Another factor, better organ storage technology has expanded the donor pool and reduced waitlist deaths. If approval lands and the 2027 timeline holds, having this here would mean more Orange County patients can get life-saving procedures without leaving the county.
This one really resonates with me. Access is everything. When surgery and follow-up care are closer to home, people are less likely to miss critical appointments, and families can actually be present. That's like a game-changer for recovery. And bringing someone like Dr. Aaron Ahern, an experienced transplant surgeon, signals they're serious about building a high-quality program from day one. Last up, discover 18 free and fun activities in Southern California this April. If you're mapping your weekends, here's the highlight reel. Riverside Arts Walk is tonight, April 10th. It's a monthly showcase of galleries and makers. Over in Costa Mesa, Centennial Farm has free tours today in April 22. It's a working farm at the OC Fairgrounds with crops and livestock, great for kids and, adults who like baby goats. Pasadena is running a lunchtime outdoor concert series on select dates all month, April 2nd, 7, 9, 21, 23, 28, and 30th. On April 4th, OC Public Libraries has a culinary history event about popcorn. Yes, popcorn, with a talk called Popping Through the History of Popcorn. Fun fact, popcorn showed up in ancient ceremonies among the Aztecs, which is wild. Also April 4th, downtown Los Angeles hosts the annual Blessing of the Animals at Olvera Street, a long-running cultural tradition. On April 5th, Long Beach has WOW, World of Waterfronts, a family-friendly day along the harbor, and set a reminder for April 11th, Whale of a Day in Rancho Palos Verdes, celebrating the gray whale migration with exhibits and activities. Pro tip, in California, you don't need a fishing license to fish from a public pier, which pairs nicely with a no-spend day by the ocean. For group tours at Centennial Farm, 10 or more, be sure to reserve ahead.
I'm all about that perspective. Free concerts, art, farms, the waterfront. There's something for every mood. And the popcorn history bit, not gonna lie, that kind of blew my mind. It's cool when free community events sneak in learning with the fun. If you're trying to keep it chill and stay on budget, April's lineup is stacked.
Thanks for listening to Laid Back Local, the news of the day, with Leah and Garrett from Irvine, California. Have a great day, and see you tomorrow.